Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest installment of Corner House Chronicles.
Nicely done, sir.
Oh,
That's our new intro.
That's it.
Nailed it.
First time, every time.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another show. Got John, Jason, and myself here today. Hope you've been enjoying the episode so far.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are we all doing today?
There's that intro voice.
The Velvet is back.
Can't deny it.
Should we call you the Velvet Crush? No.
Velvet Crush? I don't know. That seems a bit forced.
That's his next Christmas present. He's getting a Velvet Crush jersey.
This article about DNA testing is interesting.
It was kind of
Ancestry.
surprising.
Yeah. I didn't read it till just now, obviously.
We were just talking about it in the pre-show. So why don't you share which article it is?
Gizmodo is who did the article. Ancestry.com made its privacy policy more transparent, but it still claims to own your DNA.
That's crazy.
So apparently Ancestry.com is owning people's DNA when they do their tests.
What is the product actually called? Oh, it's Ancestry DNA.
Ancestry DNA. Oh, so it's different than Ancestry.com?
Well, it's owned by them, but
Oh, okay.
the kit itself is
So-
the...
Gotcha.
Have you ever messed around on Ancestry.com?
No.
Have you?
I dabbled. I never paid for anything. I just
Right.
did like the...
So did I. Enter everyone that you know in the family.
Yeah.
And all the information you knew about them.
Just to see what...
Originally, when I saw the article while we were talking, I thought it dealt directly with the Ancestry.com. But I guess there is a separate option, paid option that they give. So for anyone unfamiliar with Ancestry.com, you can just log in, create an account, and you enter all your family members. And the more you enter, the more likely it is to find them in the public databases, and then they can search your history and show you who you're related to and your family trees. But it looks like they have a paid option where you can send them a sample of your DNA, and then they'll send back your heritage and whatever other information they can discover from
People
it.
who might be related to you.
And it sounds like they're building a bank of DNA so that when you send in your DNA, if they already have some DNA that's similar, they can automatically find an actual DNA connection to tell you who you're connected with.
That's interesting.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's cool. Everyone wants to know their heritage, and that's a lot easier than going to the library and looking up obituaries and
Talking to old relatives.
right. So from this article, from what we're gathering, is that when you do the DNA, they're keeping the rights to your DNA.
So they own your genetic sequence, pretty much.
Ancestry DNA owned by the company behind family tree website, Ancestry.com. Okay. So they're definitely related as far as the companies go.
It looks like they keep repeating statements or in interviews questioning that you own your DNA data and you can ask us to remove your data from our systems at any time. But Ancestry still retains rights to your DNA too. As one of the passages said, also by submitting the user-provided content, which I guess would be the DNA sample,
Right.
through any of our services, you grant Ancestry a sub-licensable, worldwide, royalty-free license to host, store, copy, publish, distribute, provide access to, create, derive works of, and otherwise use such user-provided content to the extent and in the form or context we deem appropriate on or through any media or medium with any technology or device now known or hereinafter developed or discovered.
That's a lot of small print.
Pretty much you're saying you were allowing them to do anything with your DNA, like 3D printing things of your genetic sequence. Or
Yeah, the key word there was create.
create.
Whoa.
Yes.
So when they go to create clones, they're
That
going to
ever
buy the
becomes a
DNA
thing.
from them, and you're going to see clones of yourself, and you can't stop them.
True, but if it becomes illegal to say like produce like I'm getting 3D printed because I don't know what the future holds on technology wise, but like hearts, livers, kidneys for transplant patients, If
So
you're-
they could use your DNA
So
to
they could-
create you your own.
not even just for you, someone compatible to you. Because
Oh,
again,
yeah.
they have the World Bank of DNA sequences. They can
30 years from now, they're going to be vending machines in hospitals
Pretty
with your
much.
liver sitting in there.
the Ancestry fucking
Put your-
DNA logo on top of it.
Yep.
Put your
credit
debit card
slot.
in. What
Takes a
was,
fingerprint to be like, yes, I acknowledge and approve.
what was the movie with?
You have to spit in the machine so it reads your DNA.
What was the movie? Was it Jude Law where they
Oh, it was Jude Law. It was Jude Law and Crazy Eye guy.
they lived and they tried to win the lotto?
Forrest Whitaker?
Forrest Whitaker. I might be thinking of, yeah, it was
No,
Forrest
you-
Whitaker. I'm thinking of a different movie.
I'm thinking, we're thinking different movies with, I think, pretty much the same premise. But this one, they were living in looked like a futuristic world. It had Steve Buscemi in it once they busted out. It was one of his
Jude
good
Law
friends.
was in this?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Huh.
And they ended up finding out because they'd have random drawings where they'd go on to this greater, better
Oh, the
place.
island.
The island. But really,
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson was in it with him.
is that who it was?
I remember her. Yeah, she was in it.
And basically, they were just clones that they
Yeah.
raised to harvest when athletes or rich people would get in injuries, have sickness.
And they win the lotto or something.
And they
they're
get brought up,
chosen.
and then their bodies got
Oh.
harvested for whatever they need.
I've never heard of that one.
Well, apparently, it's all based off Ancestry.com. Because this is what they can do.
And in the future, depending on the technologies hereafter.
My goodness.
I was thinking of the movie Repo Man from 2010.
Oh, yes.
Slightly different.
Who was
Oh,
his
I don't
partner
think I've seen
in
that one.
It was Forrest Whitaker and Jude Law. It's pretty much
It was Jude Law. Okay.
if like you needed like if you got a fake heart or prosthetic kidney or this and that, they would charge you out the wazoo.
You're on a payment plan.
Pretty much.
I think that movie you were talking about is called The Island, but I'm not sure.
It sounds right. It does sound right.
But
Yeah.
then Jude Law
Yeah,
and
The
Forrest
Island,
Whitaker are
05.
there when you go on default. They come and take it out of you
On the spot.
on the spot. It's an interesting movie.
Yeah. So both of those movies are now going to be the future if you send your DNA into Ancestry DNA.
And they keep it.
That is weird.
It wasn't Jude Law, though. It was Ewan
McGregor?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
McGregor.
Ewan McGregor. I hate that shit. His name's Ewan, but it starts with an E. It's dumb.
That's what the future holds for us. So not only are we making our replacements with robots, we'll be able to make our replaced parts.
Or we can buy our replaced parts from Ancestry.com.
That's crazy.
You can put in an order online and be there in like 2 weeks.
Your new liver is tracking.
Just one on Amazon,
Yeah.
have Prime, so I'm getting that hip replacement.
Free shipping. Free 2-day shipping.
This it's funny. It says, okay, they access a whole lot of very intimate details about what makes you you, but how consumer genetic testing companies actually use your DNA is often obscured behind many pages of vague, jargon-filled legalese. That's funny. They just hide it in there. That small print you were reading. That's where they just tuck it all in there.
That's frightening.
So now they can take this DNA, sell it to researchers who need to do human tests, but can't get it approved for human tests,
Ooh.
and they can create.
So just create humans to test on.
Well, they could actually just do like computer models with it, possibly.
And you have no say,
Nothing.
And you'll never know.
They'll never.
And you
Yeah,
don't-
you won't even
You'll
know.
never know.
and you don't get any credit.
Wow.
Oh man, this is nuts.
Not today, Ancestry.com. Not today.
I'm glad I've never done it now.
I feel like I should go through Ancestry.com, the DNA one, and find their legal stuff and just copy it all and just put an ad out on Facebook. Send me cotton swabs of your spit for $5. Just start
Just
stockpiling it. And be like, hey, Ancestry, how much do you pay for bulk shipments?
I got about 1.2 million stocked up in my garage. I'll send it to you.
Drop ship some spit tubes. Oh my goodness. That's the type of stuff that now seems like, yeah, what's the worst they could do with it? And 30 years from now, you're like, that's the worst they can do with
Oh,
it.
shit, there I go again. Think about that. Like, all right, let's say 40 years in the future, you see a clone of a younger you, and it's like a terrorist or fucking like a bank robber or something. Like, shit, look at me go.
It's
Like a serial killer.
It's Al
like,
Qaeda's
I didn't know I
army of
had-
clones.
Didn't know I had it in me.
Or with it's like Universal Soldier, where they make us all badass soldiers, and we
yeah.
all.
Get our ass kicked by Kurt Russell.
Jean-Claude Van Damme comes out of nowhere, but like, oh shit.
Dolph Lundgren and his necklace of ears.
It's true.
That could be sweet.
Don't forget to check out Universal Soldier, people.
The original one, not 2, 3, 4, 5.
Or the one with Goldberg.
Right. They made so many.
Speaking of movie stars, did you follow Stallone on Instagram?
I don't.
So he's had three posts on there. 2 of them kind of hinting about Expendables. They have a new one coming out.
Is this number 4?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any, so I don't know how many.
You
they
haven't
made.
seen any of them?
No.
The first one's really good.
I don't really watch movies, but yeah,
And
I've been told.
Which one? Who was the villain in the first one? Was that? It wasn't Van Damme. He was
No,
the
Stone Cold Steve Austin was like one of the henchmen.
Yeah. And I think Van Damme was the second. Or
Van
third
Damme was
one?
the third.
Third one.
Spoiler alert.
He was good in it.
He was. He was.
I figured out. I didn't figure out. I know I have Amazon Prime, but I figured
You
out
figured that out, folks.
Jean-Claude Van Damme's little TV show thing
Yeah.
is an Amazon Prime thing.
Oh.
It's Amazon original.
He has a show,
He has a
Oh.
show.
like a reality show.
It's like Jean-Claude Van Johnson, I think it's called.
No,
Isn't it?
the one that I was reading about, I haven't watched it yet,
He's acting in the show.
was Jean-Claude Van Damme plays himself acting as a retired secret agent that used his movie career as the front to infiltrate and do secret agent stuff. And now he has to go on like one more mission or something, and he's trying to get back into it, but his career is over.
Sounds like it was written by the cast of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
It sounds interesting. It sounds like a bunch of people sitting around drinking or smoking, and we're like, you know, it'd be crazy.
In this TV show, does he enter some sort of like secret tournament and have to win it, save something?
Person.
A
Revenge of
village out in
Friends,
fucking
something,
like
right?
Cambodia?
No,
Does he
I
dance?
don't know. I haven't watched it. I just thought it was interesting. It sounds really interesting. 'Cause
So
it's almost like a
have
movie
you-
with a play on his life.
have you like scheduled when you're going to start watching this? Because I know you're going to start watching this.
I just finished Black Mirror, so I have some.
You got some free time lined
I have
up?
some free time lined up now.
For your viewing pleasure. Say his name one more time for me, though.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I don't, it's so
It's
weird.
Jean, isn't it?
I always
put
say
a Jean.
Jean-Claude. I don't know. It's
You
just
said
weird to say
Jean.
Jean.
Yeah, he's in America. When he goes overseas, they'll pronounce it
Oh,
right.
yeah, okay.
Ooh. Okay.
Booyah.
I don't pronounce anyone's name right.
So who do you think the villain in the next Expendables will be? Like, what other 80s action star did they not pick yet?
I don't know who they picked in the other 3.
Name them.
Oh, really? It's that bad?
No, I don't know about villain, but like you name an 80s person, like action, they were probably in it.
I mean,
Seagal was in it.
he's been.
Ooh. No, I don't think they got Seagal yet. I heard he.
I believe he was in one.
he might have.
I think he was in this.
He's like a cop in Alaska or some shit now, isn't he?
Louisiana.
Louisiana. Okay. I knew he was a
Yeah,
officer or something.
Arnold's been
Arnold's
in there.
been in it.
Bruce Willis has been in there.
They had Chuck
And
Norris, right?
Chuck Norris,
Yeah.
Antonio Banderas, Dolph Lundgren, Jet Li.
Banderas, really?
Oh yeah, Wesley Snipes. They were in the last one.
They even brought out Wesley Snipes. Holy
Yep.
shit! Who's left from
Let's
the
see.
80s?
In the
Oh, here we
first
go.
one, Stallone, Jason Stratham, Dolph Lundgren, Jet Li, Terry Crews,
Terry Crews.
Randy Couture, Mickey Rourke, Stone Cold. Eric,
Ronda Rousey was in one of them too, I think.
the third one.
Eric Roberts.
He was probably the villain, right? Eric Roberts.
Actually, I think he might have been one of them.
Yeah, he plays a pretty good villain in most movies.
Nogueira,
Oh yeah.
the UFC guy.
Yeah, they had a lot of UFC Couture.
Have they had Chuck Liddell yet? He'd make a pretty cool villain.
I think so. No, he had not a villain. I think he was on the team.
Oh, was he? Jeez, they really have
I
tapped
think.
into
I'm not
everything,
sure.
huh?
It's hard to keep track of all the people they've had on those movies.
I'm trying to think of 80 stars.
Ralph Macchio.
Right.
Arnold was in the second one. Norris was in the second one. Jean-Claude Van Damme
Mhm.
was in the second one.
Oh, okay.
Bruce Willis was added to that.
Ooh, yeah,
Liam
Willis.
Hemsworth was in it.
I guess I
along
should
with-
probably watch the movies. Might help.
Oh, they're just over the top
Oh,
action
yeah.
movies. Like,
Yeah.
as a kid, you're like, I wish this guy would have been in a movie with this guy.
Yep.
Yeah, Stallone's like,
Sounds like, okay.
you got it.
Hey, check this out.
Didn't you say he's doing another Creed movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Did you watch Creed?
No, I haven't.
It's pretty good.
Uh,
It's not as good as the Rockies, but it's not bad.
I don't know.
It has similar feeling to it. To where
I
you're
would,
like-
I would hope, right?
Yeah.
Get them all pumped up.
Yeah.
Expendables 3 added Mel Gibson, Wesley Snipes, Harrison Ford,
Yep.
Antonio Banderas, Ronda Rousey, Kellen Lutz,
Who could forget
Victor Ortiz, Kelsey Grammer.
that? Oh yeah.
He must have been like somebody in charge or something, right?
He was like a retired
okay.
spy or intelligence guy that he took
Not too many
Stallone.
stunt scenes.
No, he took Stallone to go get Rousey and a lot of the younger people. They're like, oh, these are the people that the CIA has been looking at, and I guess you can recruit them.
But yeah, they're worth putting on just to kick back and
At
be
least
like
sit and watch one, and you're just like, yep.
nonstop.
Grenade
action.
launchers everywhere. Just
Good popcorn flick.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, yeah. I have to check them out. I don't make a lot of time for movies, but I have to check them out. So, who would they put in the fourth one then? I can't think of anybody that you didn't just name. You know,
Kurt Russell,
Kurt Russell's a good one. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer. That'd be interesting.
He wasn't really an action star, but
I mean,
some of those guys you named
Tom
weren't
Cruise,
either.
yeah.
Oh, they could bring Cruise in for sure if they could pay him.
yeah.
I don't know if they could handle him.
Who else?
He'd bring his whole church with him.
John Travolta.
Oh yeah, they could bring Travolta. What about Nick Cage? He was
I don't-
kind of a
I don't know if Cage would do it.
no. They should get what's his name, Keanu Reeves. That's who they should get. He's a pretty good action star now.
Oh, they're doing. Have you seen the John Wicks?
No,
What?
I told you.
It's
dude.
Oh God.
Check out John Wick and John Wick 2. I know. I think it's on Stars. They're going to be doing a show that he's attached to. I know he's
Oh, really?
producing. I don't know if he's going to actually be in the show or if it's going to go like based off the. Well, I could say it, but you've never seen it, so it wouldn't be nothing.
Dave told me they were good movies.
Yeah, they're. I got my
haven't-
sister to watch it. She was like, I don't know if I'm in that kind of movie. And I was like, just watch the first and watch the first one. She was like, yeah, that's not that bad. It's
Yeah.
not- it's yeah.
So you do have Seagal as one. He hasn't been in any of them. He was probably the top action star from then, like the '90s.
Or
Oh yeah,
That's not in there.
that dude would put out like a movie a year. They were all the same plot.
Yeah. You could have Danny Glover. Lisp and all.
Yeah, Danny Glover would be a good one.
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci. They should bring back Pesci.
I'm
yeah.
surprised he hasn't brought Carl Weathers.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. Shit, he was in
Yeah.
Predator,
yeah. Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed. Yeah,
I'm surprised he hasn't brought him in yet. Jackie Chan.
Ooh.
that's a good one. Especially if they
Have
got
a
Jet
fight.
Li.
Yeah,
you
Jackie
know?
Chan versus Jet Li.
I'm trying to think of.
Didn't they do that in a movie or no? Have they not been in a movie yet?
I don't know. They might
Huh.
have. I don't know. Like, I know they've both done like U.S. movies, but I don't know if they've probably done stuff in like China, but I'm not sure.
I think there was another guy that was really big over there too,
Oh, there's probably
like Kung Fu star. You know.
Yeah, he was in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, that little dude. You talking about the little short bald guy?
The one that had the scars on his
Yeah,
face?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know who you're
forget
talking
his
about.
Actual name. Chow Yun Fat, I think. He was a big
Sounds
star.
about right. Yeah.
So if we can't think of any of the older stars, who nowadays
Could fit in that role.
could fit into there?
Anybody from a superhero movie, right?
Maybe.
They're not even action stars anymore. It's all computer
I would
programmed
say
shit anyways.
Keanu Reeves that'd be
Yeah.
So
a good one.
Keanu would be a good one. Maybe what's his name from he plays Iron Man.
Robert Downey
Yeah.
Jr.
They could probably get him involved, I guess, if they really needed somebody. He is kind of from the 80s too, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody from that time frame right now.
McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
McGregor.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that would
Yeah.
be.
He's too short. Get him next to Dolph Lundgren. He's like, "What are you gonna do, little man?"
Listen,
I'd have him
here-
fight Rousey in a movie.
Here's the plot. Mayweather
Write this
is
down.
the villain, and they bring in McGregor to take him down.
Mayweather wants to make another billion. Here you go. Expendables 4.
That's the plot of Expendables 4. This guy's making too much money. Somebody's got to put him in his place.
Somebody has to stop him, and it's Conor McGregor.
Conor
and
McGregor
the Expendables.
and the
Fuck you.
Stallone. The movie starts. He's just pissed because of the boxing thing. That'd be good.
Tyson.
Oh, they could totally bring Tyson in for sure. He'd do it too.
This big action scene happens. He jumps in and says, "Hey guys, you're all good now.
The Expendables.
Let's go. Throw down cover and fire."
Haven't seen you in a long time.
You're pretty good at that. Do you watch his cartoon?
It's a cartoon.
Mike Tyson's cartoon?
Oh, no, I didn't know you
It's
had
horrible. It's so bad.
You-
I think it's
got
Adult
nothing.
Swim.
Oh, okay. Is it actually him?
Yeah. Like he plays himself in the cartoon and he voices it.
What does he do in the cartoon?
He's like a time traveling. It's like Scooby Doo, but it's just him, if I'm not mistaken. He's got a little group of people that's with him in the show. It's ridiculous.
Might look into that.
Yeah, I think it's Adult Swim.
It sounds about right.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton.
Ooh, Batman.
They could probably use him.
Man, getting up there, but Jack Nicholson.
You might have to have like a Kelsey Grammer type role.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Or just be the ultimate villain.
It's true.
Mike Tyson Mysteries, that's what it's called.
Mike Tyson Mysteries.
Adult Swim.
It was Old Man Carruthers all along.
40 episodes already. 3
Wow.
seasons in.
I don't watch Adult Swim. I can't think of any shows on there.
I highly recommend Rick and Morty.
Yeah, that's a hot one. Everybody likes Rick and Morty.
Never watched it.
Well done.
I've given it a couple minutes here and there, but nothing too smooth transition. Just we were talking about actors, and we had that article that we were sharing around about Kevin Hart and this poker. Kevin Hart's a big poker player now.
Yes.
See that?
Yes.
That caught me off guard. I didn't know that he was into
He's
poker
dedicated.
that much. Oh, yeah.
I took some notes on the article because it was so interesting to me.
I know he plays in a
I didn't
bunch
wanna
of the
forget
high
it.
rollers.
Yeah.
Like
You
the
sent me a couple videos in the
$100,000
past.
buy-ins and
And I thought it was more like yeah, it's celebrities buying in to play. Why not? But no, he can actually play.
yeah, he plays in a lot of the celebrity cash games, like the ones that we don't get televised.
Yeah.
I can't find it here. Keep going.
Fill that time.
So he's also doing a big promotion with Poker Stars right now. With
He's an ambassador.
yeah, and
He's got a
is
title.
Usain
really?
Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
And the Granud has a bunch of challenges on Instagram where they try and bluff, and they're attached to like the zappers. So they try
For real?
Yeah,
That'd be sweet.
So like if you follow Negranu on Instagram, he has it up there. So one of them was they had to bluff. So they'll say 3 things about themselves. One of them's fake. The other has
Kevin
to pick
Hart should be pretty good at that.
which one's fake.
I'm
and if-
6'3".
If they're wrong, if you guess and you pick the wrong of the 3, you got like zapped.
But if you guess right, does the person that was bluffing get zapped?
No, but they're
Oh.
keeping score. And
Oh,
then
okay.
They've had like 2 or 3 different challenges as they're promoting the. I think it's the PCA Poker Stars Championship.
That's
PSA?
that cash game. The
Yeah,
article
maybe it's
you
the
shared.
PSA.
It was the PSC in Monte Carlo.
PSC.
Well, that was
PSA,
his
there you
cash game. Yeah, he bluffed with a king high, and he misread his hand. So
Did you watch the video?
No.
the woman calls him with a 6 high because
No,
she's.
he called her. She went all in to bluff.
Oh,
him.
she went all in to bluff, and he called with a king high, thinking he had a straight. I think is what the article said.
Oh.
So he had king high. She had 6 high,
Yeah,
and it would have worked perfectly.
Uh-huh.
except he didn't look at his hand again.
He thought he hit a straight on a paired board.
Okay.
Thought he hit Broadway, and he didn't.
But
So when he flipped over, was he like, oh, fuck?
It was like a 10-10 queen ace something else.
yeah,
Boy,
I didn't see
he
the
thought,
video. I
He
just
thought
read
he
the
had king
article.
jack. He thought he had king jack, so he bet pre-flop. She called, and then she let out, bet big, and then went all in. And he's like, "Yeah, if I'm gonna give my money to anyone, I'll give it to you." And calls, and she flips over 6 high. He's like, "I got a straight." Flips over his hard. He's like, "Oh, I misread my hand." And she's sitting there, and she looks over at the ground and goes, "I think that would have worked." And the grounder's like, "Yeah, that would have worked perfectly if the fool looked at his hand."
Yeah.
Oh,
He ended up giving her another 10 or 15
15
grand.
grand was the buy-in. Yep.
He gave her 10 grand back. Said, "Here." And she goes, "Well,
No, he rebought her in for 15
Oh, is
grand.
it 15?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
oh, okay.
Because when he gave it to her, she goes, well, thanks, I'll pay you back." He goes, "No, it's a gift." She goes, "Well, when I win enough, I'll give it back to you." He goes, "No, I'm giving it to you so I can win it off you again."
Yeah, it said
Build
that
the table.
he ended up feeling bad about the hand and gave her the $15,000 buy-in because he liked her and wanted her to stay at the table because they were having such good conversation and stuff. But it got me. The article from that, I went down a rabbit hole because I started thinking
That will
about
happen.
other celebrities that play poker, right? You can think of a couple, I'm sure, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right off the top of your head.
Rounders. Matt Damon and Edward Norton both played in the World Series.
Yeah.
Quite a
Toby
few years.
Maguire
Yep.
plays.
Yep.
Toby Maguire
Yeah, is that where
has
you're going?
made over $10 million in Hollywood cash games, according to Phil Hellmuth.
Those are big games.
According to Phil Hellmuth.
No, those are
he
big
could be
games.
exaggerating a little. It's Phil Hellmuth. He could be. It could be like $6 million. You know,
Possible.
Those
$5
are
million.
the games all the pros
Yeah.
keep trying to get in.
But Gabe Kaplan,
Oh, Gabe Kaplan was big
1.3
for...
million in tournament earnings.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
He's
He's
big.
a known 7-card stud shark.
Yep.
Jennifer Tilly,
Jennifer Tilly, yeah.
Obviously.
Unabomber.
Affleck,
Yeah,
Shannon Elizabeth,
Didn't know that one.
Michael Greco. Remember that dude? Laura Prepon from that 70s show. She plays a lot. Michael Phelps.
Really?
James Woods, but we
Yeah.
all knew that one. And then Jason Alexander from Seinfeld.
yeah, he plays in all the
Yeah,
World
these
Series.
are like the top 10 most recognizable celebrities that play poker.
Which Buffer is it? Bruce Buffer? That played for a while? No, he did the commentary for a while.
I believe so. Yeah, because didn't they have him
'Cause there's
do one of
Michael
the
and-
shuffle up and deals?
No, because there's Michael Buffer in it, and Bruce Buffer. There's the one that does like all the boxing
Michael
events.
does boxing.
Yeah,
and
then it was
Bruce
Bruce
does
Buffer.
UFC.
Yeah, because he would bet a lot, and I think he played for a little bit, but then they had him commentating.
Well, they got that. Oh, you still got more notes?
No.
Oh.
No.
They got that movie coming out called Molly's Room. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
I have
Yep.
not.
So Molly's Room is based off the life story of this lady. I don't know her full name, but obviously her first name's Molly. She ran an underground card room where
Okay.
people would lose millions and
High
go on,
roller shit.
and go on markers
Oh,
for
wow.
millions for the room.
And she was like the original female to do it too, right?
Yeah,
Like
she-
run a room legitimately.
She
and be
started working at
respected.
the room, I think,
Yeah.
in college. And then the guy that was running it wanted to give it up, and she took over, bought it from him, whatever it is. And she ran it for years. So she's seen so many celebrities come in there and play such big stakes.
Wow.
I'm trying to think of who the actress is that's playing her in the movie. She was married to Affleck.
Jennifer Gardner?
Yep, that's her. I'm pretty sure
Is
it's
this
her.
a newer movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it's coming out soon.
Might have been
or it
yesterday.
Just came out. One of the two.
Might have been yesterday.
I haven't heard nothing about that one.
Mm-hmm.
They said it stuck fairly good to the actual events because all movies do their thing.
Yeah, it's a true story. Yeah, I
Based
did
off.
hear that. Or yeah, based
Yeah.
off true story.
So I know the poker community was really up in arms when Eric Bana's movie came out. The what's the name of it? I can't think of the name of it, but he played a poker player that was really good, but excessive gambling, so he'd lose everything. And his dad was the best. He was like the Doyle Brunson, and so they would play and Ed Harris. No, Ed Harris or Duvall. One of the two was his dad. I think it's Duvall. And so they would play, but he put it in a bad light because he kept hawking all his stuff and going on these huge losing
Showing
streaks.
like the downside of addiction to the gambling.
Yeah. And then eventually they both made it to the final table of what was the World Series of Poker, but they named it something else. And his dad ended up folding to him because it was like the first time they did cameras, is what they were saying in this tournament. It was the first time they ever did pocket cams, and he bluffed his dad out of his, or didn't bluff, his dad folded at showdown, but he had pocket aces. The viewers all got to see it, but he held it from the whole cam just so his son could win. Huh. And they were like, this is so inaccurate. The hands that were played, that it was just, I remember reading a lot of reviews from the poker community that were really not happy with that movie.
Yeah, it's Jessica Chastain, not Jennifer Gardner. I was wrong about that. Kevin Costner's in it, though.
Is he really?
Really?
Michael Cera's in it. That's about all.
Does
the
it say
names
who he
I
plays?
recognize. Who? Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
Larry Bloom? Molly Bloom's, I'm guessing, father.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I don't know what to expect from the movie. I just thought the story itself was, because obviously you'd never hear of her, but I think she wrote a book about it.
Oh, it says here she was, hold on, let me get back to the page here. Olympic class skier before she took over the infamous Viper Room.
The Viper Room.
They called her the Poker Princess.
Huh.
The original Molly Bloom.
That's interesting.
Seems like a movie worth giving a watch.
Yeah,
Worth checking out.
It was like Hollywood's most exclusive poker game, is kind of the way it was set up.
It'd be like where Hellmuth saw Tobey Maguire win.
Yeah.
Probably.
Jerry
Yeah.
Buss. And
Some of them bigger time guys that don't really know what they're doing, but they got a lot of money to throw around, you know?
hire a pro to teach you.
That's what Negreanu did, right? That's why he's kicking ass now?
It is. He hired two different specialists.
it,
in
game theory?
Yep. Game theory optimization, GTO, and another one that specializes in
How to
not beat, but how to abuse people that play game theory optimization, play in the most optimally way. Because if everyone plays the most optimal, then everyone breaks even. Because everyone's doing the right thing, so chips just keep getting passed around.
Right.
And so he started working. He was doing, it was like 6-hour sessions, 3 to 4 days a week. Because he went in and started playing the high roller series, which minimum buy-in's $25,000, and it goes up to $100,000 for the main event when they do these series. So if you play the whole schedule, you end up paying $2 million just in buy-ins.
wow.
And there was a big article he either wrote or contributed to where he explained just because a poker player wins $2 million doesn't mean he has a winning year. Because he looked at his buy-ins versus winnings from there, and I think he broke even or lost about $700,000, one of the two, just on those.
Not including all other tournaments, it's the high roller series.
Just the high roller series.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why it's the high roller series.
You
And-
got to imagine he plays a ton of them events at the World Series too, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know.
which is totally different because they're bigger fields.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more dead money with people that aren't as good. But he started going to him, and he kept plateauing. He could make the final table here and there, but he could never get up right to the top. And he was seeing that the same people, even in a small group, were always kind of higher than the others, or always had the best chance in the right position or the right amount of chips. And he was noticing that he was losing about the same stage, or certain hands he was losing more frequently, or folding. He was being forced into situations where felt he had to fold. So he hired those two and worked extensively with them. And I think he final tabled like his next 3 events.
Pretty
But
impressive.
his big thing is like, you have to keep learning. Everyone else is continuously learning. So if you're not going to be able to succeed in some of these unique events. People like Hellmuth will still be able to do great at the World Series because there's enough of a field that he can abuse.
Right.
But once you get into the higher end caliber, he'd get eaten alive because they know how he plays, so they'll be able to abuse it.
And how the game has evolved
Yeah.
since.
His shock value kind of wears off with all the other pros,
You know.
right?
Right.
But if he sits down at a table with 9 strangers that are there,
Oh yeah, then he's a god.
right?
Among
And
men.
Negreanu was saying, all throughout his career, he's always had to learn, adapt, and overcome. He took him forever to learn to win in Canada, and then when he won enough, he flew out to Vegas, lost, flew back. Win enough, go back out to Vegas, and it took him like 3 trips before he started finally winning some money. It helped that he had like Jennifer Harmon, who he could sit behind, that helped him teach some of the games and some bankroll management. But he was like constantly, I'd hit heaters or do good, and then things would change. And if you don't change with them, you're going to get left behind. That's why so many of the people plateaued and then disappeared. Whereas he's been up at the top of the game, all-time money list,
Oh yeah.
and he has not final tabled a World Series of Poker main event. Maybe one in Europe. I think
Wow.
he came in second, one in Europe. But that's how a lot of the people get. I mean, like Jamie Gold was up there when he won on the all-time money list because you win
So
an
much money.
astronomical amount of money.
Yeah, like was it down to $9 or $10 million now? Which is still, I mean, come on, I said down to,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, and I think
Or a
he's
$10,000 buy-in.
yeah, right.
he's number one on all-time. I think he just got number one back, Negreanu, and I think is he around 27? It's an even number. It's 27 or 47. I know there's a drastic difference in that amount. For some reason, it's like an even number with a 7, I think.
Is that for like? Because you said he's like the all-time
Tournament.
Tournament. Are you saying like he's like 27 or 47 for like cash or?
Unfortunately, there's no way to gauge all-time cash winnings. He is number one all-time
Negreanu is who you're talking about right
Yeah,
now.
Negreanu.
Okay, all right.
with almost $36 million in tournament winnings.
Oh my god.
That's ridiculous.
Number 2 is Eric Seidel with 33. And see, like
Been around a long fucking time.
number 3
there.
is Daniel Coleman, but he won $20 million in the big drop, the $1 million buy-in.
Okay.
Okay.
So that one score shoots him right up
And
to the
Negreanu
top of
took
the
him
list.
second.
That's the stats there.
Mm-hmm.
Antonio Estefare, 27. He won it once.
Yeah, he won the big drop. Yeah.
So then you got someone like Fedor Holtz, who's at $26 million. I think he's still in his 20s. He kills the high roller series.
Ridiculous. That's so much
Jawanda's
money.
6 at 20, almost 24. 7th is Ivy at almost 24. Helmuth is 9th at 22.
Seen a picture the other day. I forget who posted it, but it was a poker player, and he was on like first class on an airplane going to the Australia for the Aussie Millions.
Phil Ivy.
Well, no, Phil Ivey was sitting like down the road, and he's like, "Oh, look who's going to the Aussie Millions." Phil Ivey's just looking at his phone or something.
Did you see that plane?
Oh, that's fancy.
It had like a little communication hub with a phone and like all
Little
this.
TV. And
Was that a private jet or was
Oh,
it
I'm
No.
sure.
I don't know if it was a private jet. It looked more like
just a fancy first class,
A fancy
commercial
first
or
class.
something?
It would have
Yeah.
had to been well, I guess that is a long flight. So
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
But man, it was like you
Your own
see in the
little
future
cubicle
race- yeah,
kinda?
It was like it was impressive. You're like, damn.
You ever been up in first class on one of them 747s?
never.
They're just get some pretty fancy first class up there, man. The pilot sits up on the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Negreanu. Captain Smallball.
Yep.
It always impressed me how he could just call people's hands. Like, you probably got King Queen, right? And there's like, And it's like, I'm going to raise. And then you're like, fuck. Like, he knows what I'm playing.
He played in the PWC, the Putting World Championship. It's a new league that started up.
Is it for putt-putt?
No, similar, but it's like
That's what I would have thought, yeah.
it's essentially all you do is putt,
Mhm.
but it's these like PGA style greens, and you putt, and it's a championship series that they just started out in Las Vegas.
That's
He
crazy.
got
That could be
invited,
interesting.
and he was playing against people that are professional golfers.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he told a funny story on one of his. He got paired up with this guy that was bragging how good he is at golfing and his score and everything. And he said, "Well,
You
hey,
want to bet?
once you, it's 18 holes of putting, And once you get to where you can't win, you're so many strokes behind, then they usually call it. They're like, all right, well, there's no way, even if I beat you, I make hole ones, you make twos, there's no way I can win. And they're like, so they'll call it. And the guy was like, listen, it's probably going to end early, but I really, like you, you're a nice guy and everything, so we can just play all 18 if you want to. And Negreanu beat him. And they got up to like hole, I don't know, it was like 14 when he had the win. And he's like, well, you still want to play the rest of the 18? And the guy's like, no, have a good day.
I bet does Ivy play in that too, or no?
No, I don't think so.
He's a huge, that guy throws money around on the golf course.
They used to a lot.
Right.
We used to watch a lot. And Negreanu talked about that on his podcast because he holds one.
Yeah.
And he said a lot of that was Full Tilt money. They got paid so much by Full Tilt that they would just throw around money like it was nothing. There'd be $10 million swings
That makes sense.
Oh my god!
on the golf course.
Like $100,000 a hole or something,
Oh, more than that, and like different depending on what teams you were matching up against or how much they were betting.
And then all the side bets, because you guarantee that there's side bets. Longest drive.
Negreanu had one where he had to shoot.
Whoever spends the most time in the sand.
I think it was something like he had to shoot par from certain tees, and he wasn't a great golfer. It was 36 holes total, and something, and a large amount on it, and so he finally was close to doing it. And they said all the poker pros were coming up in golf carts, and he had like this big following because there was so much on the line. People were trying to buy out. I remember the side bet for Eric Lindgren, where he had to play 36 holes with no cart, no caddy, at a Las Vegas course,
Oh,
straight.
it's 100,
That's-
100-degree weather.
Oh yeah.
You're
On a
out there in the
time
sun,
limit. On a time
limit.
limit. And he did it, but he had to run around and do it himself, and just run outside in that desert heat.
That'll kill
He
you.
said-
That's 2 full rounds of 18.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
And he ended up winning the bet.
Ooh.
and then going to the hospital.
I believe he went to the hospital to get rehydrated, and he said it took him about 5 days before he finally started feeling okay. He said, but I think they interviewed him like
Hopefully he won a lot of money.
Oh yeah, that they interviewed him like a year later, and he's like, I still haven't recovered from that. It
Oh my
took
God.
such a toll on my body.
Wow.
Be cool to meet a pro poker player. I got a buddy that met Moneymaker at a tournament in Ohio.
Really?
Yeah, he was doing one of those
Kind of like meet
like
and greet?
qualifier. No,
Oh.
Moneymaker was in the tournament. Like
Oh,
that's
okay.
it was what is it in Toledo?
The casino?
Yeah.
Hollywood?
Yeah. They did a tournament and he was like the guest player, and a buddy of mine went down there and played in it and met him, before the round started, and got a picture with him and talked to him for a minute.
He's still on the PokerStars roster too.
Really?
Moneymaker, yeah, he's still
He's
makes-
still a name. He'll still like draw some people.
I mean, essentially, he's an icon.
oh yeah, he was the first
boom.
televised champion.
And to have a name like Moneymaker
Right.
win,
And he was an accountant.
Yeah. I wonder if he sold the TV rights yet.
I'm sure Hallmark's making a movie out of it or something.
Oh no, 30 for 30.
Oh yeah. They should do one about a poker player.
Who would they do though? Do you think? Who is like the most iconic? Brunson?
Yeah, I'd probably pick Brunson. Yeah, unless you go with one of the guys before Brunson that's
Who
not
was the-
here, but
Chip Reese,
Chip Reese, yeah. I would go with Brunson personally. Well, Chip Reese
who's
died, right?
Amaretto
So,
Slim.
Well, Amarillo Slim would be one too, but no, the younger, Stu Younger, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah,
Because he has a really
They've done it on
interesting.
him.
Oh, have they? A 30 for 30?
Maybe not 30 for 30, but there's been I think it was an ESPN biography on him. But yeah, he was very, very fascinating. Lots of demons.
Yeah. I always thought it was funny. The story, or you told me, Aaron, was he was at, I think it was a World Series side event or a cash table,
Cash table,
and they were playing, and another pro was playing a different game.
gin rummy
Jim Runny for money. Had a table next to him.
behind him.
Yeah, but directly behind Stu Younger. The guy's like, "Hey, Stu, what do you think I should do?" And like without looking, he's like, "Oh, and I was stayed or whatever, like 3 hands ago or 3 cards ago."
Like he was paying that much attention
was
to the
paying-
hand behind him.
To the
Yeah.
game going on.
All they
behind
do is
him.
glance. He had a photographic memory. So he glanced back, and he just naturally knew, or because I from what I read, I don't believe he put the time in to like study the odds or anything. It's just all doing and learning.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was Chip Reese was telling the story, I believe. It's one of the old time guys, Chip Reese or Doyle Brunson, and they were playing with Stu, and a guy leans over behind him, and just from glancing over his shoulder, he's like, "Yeah, you should have stood pat like 3 hands ago."
If I was going to do a 30 for 30 on a poker player, I would probably pick somebody like Hellmuth.
The tough thing with them is, I guess it's a tough thing nowadays, is it's always all the good stuff. It's not, I mean, they'll talk a little bit about like the downfalls but none of the negativity, like him being the poker brat. It was really frowned upon a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
But I think they would turn it into a more, that's just Phil, because that's how a lot of the pros.
Right. Which is what a 30 for 30 would do. You know.
Because Negreanu has one that was put out by Poker Stars, I think it was. But he has basically like a biography movie that was on him. It's free to view. Covers a lot of stuff, but if you read a book about him or you listen to like his interviews, they missed a lot of the really in-depth stuff that was, to me, the really interesting. Like they cover, he learned to play pool and that's where he made his money. But in some of the interviews or podcasts that he does, he'd go into a lot more detail, and that's where it's really interesting. Some of the stories of when he was hustling, or when they were going to the local charity poker rooms, I guess they would be, although I don't know if they were charity poker rooms, but the local rooms, and how much you had to make and the type of players you were playing.
He's from like Toronto or something, isn't he?
Yeah.
Montreal or something?
Toronto.
Yeah, okay.
And I know when he was younger, he like, they didn't cover any of these stories, but I've read about them where he was a young guy in Vegas that was making a lot of money when he was finally winning. And so he'd go out drinking and have a great time. And like he'd had I forget which casino they always played at, but he had a box where he kept all his poker money. One morning, he woke up, went to his box, it was empty. He was like, what happened? Like, he pulled it all out last night. He was all drunk, went in, pulled out all his money, played big stakes.
Lost it all, right?
And they don't cover that stuff. Like in the biography, they didn't cover his feud with Annie Duke or issues he had with Howard Lederer.
Yeah.
But he's always been one to be out vocal, stand behind his words, and good or bad.
That's what I do like about the 30 for 30s is they will cover a lot of the negative stuff surrounding the story that they're,
Yeah.
they don't seem to hold back too much. So
I think that's what makes it hard for them to find some
people willing to let that out.
Yeah. I'm going to watch that Ric Flair one.
I'm telling you, that's why it's
one.
best.
I saw the Pistons one.
He's the
That
most
was a good one.
The Bad Boys.
open and honest when it comes to any of the conversation, good or bad.
Yeah.
Like, I know this doesn't make me popular, but here, this is what I did.
Not a whole lot anybody can do to change it now,
When his son overdosed, he was on the road partying with him. They were on doing it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that. Like I said, it was in the Baskin Robbins today when I was getting my milkshake. I caught about 3 minutes of it. So, and it was the segment was on it. I couldn't hear it, but it was a part where he was going through like his training regiment.
That was crazy too.
And working out and stuff.
Training regiments. You were telling me a story about, was it Dolph Lundgren?
Oh, for was it Rocky IV?
Yeah, we were watching Rocky IV.
Yeah.
Wasn't his training regiment just needles?
Not the movie one.
I'm sorry, Dolph. I'm kidding.
Well, I don't know, but it was a long time ago. I don't know if I read it or seen an interview or something, but I think he was talking about like when Stallone approached him about being that, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "Oh, why have you work out?" and blah blah blah. He's like, "Yeah, cool." And he was a bigger dude then. Like he came in, like Stallone's like, "All right, this is what we're doing." He gave him the workout schedule. He's like, "That was the toughest thing I've ever done in my life." He's like, because like if Rocky IV, Stallone has like little side baby ab muscles. I don't even know how you get those.
You remember those?
Under his armpit, just like, how do you work those
Lifting
out?
the bags of rocks in the barn. That's how he got them.
The cart over your head.
Yeah.
But he was just saying like how tough that was. But like you'd come in and Stallone's already there working out, been working out, but he did like 2 hours of riding before that, and
He would sequence those boxing fights himself, and then teach the other actor what he wanted him to do.
But I guess Dolph Lundgren said there was one point where one of the punches kept looking fake because he kept pulling it. And Stone was like, "Fucking hit me." And I don't know if it was like his jaw or his ribs. Like he fucking like crack.
He
broke it.
Broke it. Yeah. Yeah.
Like-
I heard that.
And Stallone had to be hospitalized because I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, how would you feel? Like Stallone's like, "Come on, hit me," and you're like, "Wham!" You're like, "Oh, send him to the hospital." Fuck. There goes my career.
2 weeks of reshoots.
Especially on that movie, because up until that time, Dolph wasn't a big name.
No.
I mean, not that he ever became like this mega movie star, but that was kind of like his break, wasn't it?
Yeah. The only movie I remember him doing before that was Masters of the Universe.
God,
When he played He-Man.
He was a bouncer at a bar in New York and started dating this other actress. She was in a James Bond movie. What is her name?
Was he married to that chick from Rocky IV in real life? Bridget Nielsen or whatever her name was. Were they married or no?
I think they
Or
were dating.
Stallone dated her, right? Not Dolph Lundgren. I think Stallone dated that chick. And of course, she went on to Flavor of Love.
Yeah, looking at Dolph's movies, he did A View to Kill in '85, Rocky in '85, and then Masters of the Universe in '87. So that was his
Masters of the
that
Universe.
was
Where's
it.
Punisher fit in on that?
'89.
Wow.
Universal Soldier in '92. He was in Johnny Mnemonic.
I don't recall Johnny Mnemonic, to
neither.
be honest with you.
He was the street preacher. That was the one with Keanu Reeves where they implanted the
the-
information in
in
his
his
head
brain.
and wiped his memories.
Sounds like an episode of Black Mirror.
I could see that.
Yeah, he's not done a lot of
Grace
big-
Jones. That's the chick he was dating.
Grace Jones, okay. Not familiar with her catalog. But you said she was a Bond girl, so.
Oh my. Guess who's in Creed 2?
Dolph Lundgren?
Playing Ivan
Ivan
Drago.
Drago.
Seriously?
Dead
Yeah.
serious.
Wow.
He's in the new Aquaman too.
Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah.
Really? Who's he play?
You read that. I'll butcher it.
Oh.
Says this Grace Jones chick was in Conan the Barbarian
Yeah.
with Schwarzenegger.
So he's playing King Nereus in Aquaman?
I don't know who that is. I'm not familiar with.
Well, he's going to be the new Aquaman with
Jason Momoa.
Momoa.
Yeah.
So I think King Nereus was the going into comic book stuff now. So I think there was 7 kingdoms, like of underwater peoples, and he wanted to like conquer them all. And kind of went mad in that. But I guess he'd be Aquaman's stepdad.
All right then.
So they had to get somebody bigger than Momoa, I guess, huh?
I guess so.
Physically, I mean.
But yeah, he's bringing back Ivan Drago. I don't know how I feel about that.
What if like Ivan Drago comes up in a wheelchair, just like all Stephen Hawking?
After I lost to Rocky, they broke my legs.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the plot line's going to be in that.
We just told you.
Have you seen Creed, the first one?
Yeah.
I haven't.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was all right.
I enjoyed it.
It's a good movie. I mean, it's nowhere on the caliber of like the original Rockies. But I don't think you can get on that.
Is it better than Rocky 5?
It's better than Rocky Balboa.
Fair enough.
Ouch. I thought Rocky Balboa was good. Couple scenes, anyways. I don't know, the whole movie with the.
Both of the ones, because he brought back Rambo too, and I didn't think that was any
Oh,
good.
yeah, I didn't
That
bother
was
with that.
Just a bunch of gore.
Yeah. Oh, Stallone. That dude's got to be, 70 years old?
He said he's trying to get back into the original Rocky shape.
Original Rocky or Rocky 4? Because we were watching Rocky 4 when you said this to me.
He said the original Rocky shape. So that's
I mean,
vague.
he's kind of already... He's still a pretty big dude.
I remember reading he was very upset he didn't win a Academy Award when he did Copland. Just
For
because
putting on all that weight.
because he had to change and
His like whole body configuration.
yeah, because he became overweight, and that was from what I've read about it. He didn't wear like a fat suit.
Like,
he
he
got
actually
out of
gained the
shape.
weight.
That was wow.
Which
and then had to get back into shape.
He said it was the worst experience because his regiment so used to working out, writing, and going through all that no, he's just sitting around eating junk food, and he's like, it made me feel like crap.
I can see that.
71.
71?
Yep.
And he wants to get in like original Rocky shape. And now,
Says
how much
he's
like
worth $400 million too.
how much HGH is he going to be using with that $400 million of his?
He kept a few needles from Ivan.
Well, no, he got busted in Australia once, I believe. Bringing in human growth hormone.
He was married to that Brigitte
Nielsen, was he?
Yeah, from 85 to 87. That's funny. And he has a statue in Philly.
That's still up? Nice.
I believe they just moved it, didn't they? Just recently, the last 5 years or so.
I remember hearing something like they were going to take it down.
I think they moved it to somewhere else.
It was offensive. Whatever.
The Italians are upset. So, this episode, we're drinking some Bell's Lake. No, what is this? Let me take the beer koozie off. Lager of the Lakes. A Bohemian Pilsner. It's a pretty solid beer. Smooth.
Is this a picture of Michigan on the label? Because it's got 4 of the lakes on the picture, but the landmass...
It is. The map is a historic map, so it was one that was, I don't know what year it's from.
1846?
Oh, can you read it?
Barely. I can use my phone.
So
though,
it's
and
not
zoom
like
in.
our nowadays maps. That's the maps that they had then. That's what they thought it looked like.
Okay. It's definitely not a mitten.
Well, that was before. See, this map is before the world became round.
Flat Earth.
I was telling the people at work the other day how I'd like to sit down and talk to an honest-to-God flat earther. Like somebody who truly believes it.
We have not checked on our Rocket Man.
Oh, no, we didn't. We forgot all about him, didn't we? Wonder if he ever made it.
What was his name? Mad Mike?
Mad Mike Hughes, I think.
Mad Mike Hughes. I think that's it.
Sounds like a UFC fighter.
No, he might have been the other guy. We had 2. Remember, there was 2 in the one episode.
Oh,
One guy made the zombie apocalypse
crossbow that demolishes cars.
And then the other guy was going into space. Mike Hughes might have been the guy going to space, though. But back to the beer. Yeah, Bell's Brewery, Comstock, Michigan. It's a pretty good beer.
That's not bad.
I don't do much. I haven't had much Bell's.
No. It's pretty smooth.
It says, as refreshing as a morning swim in the Great Lakes. Are you looking up Mad Mike Hughes?
I am.
Okay. Because now I'm curious.
I am too.
Forgot all about that dude.
You would think he would have made the news if he did something either good or bad. Maybe called it off due to weather. Old Katrina shut us down.
Yeah.
See y'all next year.
Well, I know he said in one
He's in Northern California. I wonder if he
Yes.
got hit with the mudslides or the fires or anything.
Well, I remember everything I find is from late November, but I remember in the interviews when it was postponed, he was also dealing with one of the government agencies on where it's okay to get the permits or to launch a rocket.
Oh, yeah, they shut him down, right?
Because we said he should go out in space, out in the ocean, and
Yeah, that's
the-
right.
international waters. Everything I see in here is from November, so there hasn't been any updates.
Since we talked about him. Mad motherfucking Mike Hughes.
I did not know. Apparently, he has a YouTube channel. Because he claimed on his YouTube that he had previously received tactic approval for the project from the BLM and the Federal Aviation Administration, and that the agencies reneged on their approval after news reports emerged.
So they wanted him to do this shit under like the cloak of darkness. He got a little publicity.
Oh no, it was the YouTube one was just a news story from. MGTV Truth, unless that's his YouTube channel.
Yeah, because he was going up to prove the Earth was flat, right? That was his goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the big
From 1,800 feet up.
to do.
I remember.
Because you can't see a curve.
Ridiculous.
Everyone uses fish lens photography.
They should talk to that dude that did the X Games where he parachuted out of the...
Oh, the stratosphere, or whatever
Yeah.
it was?
Yeah. Let's talk to that dude.
What'd you see, sir?
But like I said, I'd love to talk to an honest-to-God person who, like, truly believes the Earth is flat.
Have him talk to an astronaut. You ever see the video of Buzz Aldrin punching out that dude?
No.
Buzz Aldrin was doing like some sort of meet and greet. I forget where, but him and his publicist or whoever are like walking out of a hotel lobby, and this guy runs up and was like, "Just admit it. It was a setup, a phony. You guys did it, blah da da." Buzz Aldrin whack, hits the dude. Buzz Aldrin's an older guy, and he just hauled off and hit this guy, and the guy was like, "Oh."
Laid him out.
Yeah, he was a no-nonsense guy.
Oh, he still is a no-nonsense guy.
What branch did he come from?
Air Force? I think a lot of them come from the Air Force.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Did you read over any of them other articles?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which one in particular?
The one that I shared about the duck missing the foot?
I
With
missed
the 3D
that one.
printer.
Yeah. In Arkansas. 3
So-
high school kids.
So they made it on the 3D printer,
Yeah.
and it just
A prosthetic leg or a prosthetic foot for a duck.
to attach it so that
Yeah. The guy that found the duck on his property saw the duck get in a fight with a tortoise. The tortoise ripped his foot off. It took the kids like 30 attempts, I guess, was the article said, to really like perfect this 3D foot.
3D printing is crazy.
To chime in about Buzz Aldrin.
We
Yeah.
moved on.
I know, but I just wanted to point out he was a colonel in the United States Air Force. And one of his other, it says here, his other names was Dr. Rendezvous. It's a pretty good nickname to have.
They should get him as the villain in the Expendables. Dr. Rendezvous.
So that's the other. Oh, that'd be like his the name on
Call
the plane,
sign, maybe? I
Yeah,
don't know. Dr. Rendezvous.
Maverick. This is Iceman. Are you out there? No, this is Dr. Rendezvous.
Dallas Mavericks owner said that an NBA referee, Ed Rush, wouldn't be able to manage Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen management took offense to this and offered to let Cuban manage one for a day. Cuban accepted.
He's going to go manage Dairy Queen for a day?
I don't know if this was in the past or
How long ago was this?
I don't know. It said today I learned,
Oh.
and it shows it to a wiki. And then you have to go on WikiLeaks and then try to fucking find it.
I do have confidence. I think Cuban could handle it.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he could handle it.
A day? I would
Dairy
hope
Queen
so.
for a day?
Shit.
I could probably do that shit.
He's going to pop a couple of soft serves in a cone and call it a day. He'll be signing autographs more than he'll be serving ice cream.
Bring in more money than they have in all year.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be like,
Oh,
there
yeah.
you go, kids.
People want to come see Cuban there. It's a great publicity.
He'd probably have to be like, it has to be in like Dallas or somewhere around the arena so they can hawk fucking Maverick shit.
Probably.
Offer free tickets and shit.
I'd go down and try and sell my business. Oh, this isn't Shark Tank? Sorry.
He did that like 2 or 3 times on Shark Tank. Where he's like, I want to invest on you so we can put it in my stadium.
Yeah.
You know?
He's like, oh, that would be great for having the Mavericks logo on it.
Yep.
Smart man.
So far. Yeah. Made a lot of money, that's for damn sure. You like Shark Tank? You watch it a lot? Or?
Oh, yeah.
I used to watch a ton of it.
Yeah. Who's your favorite?
Cuban.
Really? I like that Mr. Wonderful guy.
Yeah. He's the fun.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, I like his, but I like how when Cuban went in, he kind of bucked the system. Like, they'd all offer or they make deals, but then he would be the guy that goes, yeah, listen, I'll buy 50% of your company, $500,000 right now. You listen to any other offers, deals off table.
Right.
And they're like, hey, Mark, what if we went into this? Well, then he knows. We got a deal or not? And he's the guy in there playing hardball against the other sharks
Yeah.
who were kind of playing together and they'd crack jokes. That's what I liked about him, that if he saw something he thought would make money, he'd just throw it out there and grab it.
Yeah, he would offer on quite a bit of their things too. It would take a lot for him to not. I always felt like that show that they were like predetermined who was gonna offer what, and
See what I found.
some of it felt scripted.
It does, but some of it is. There's some people that come in, and even they've said they just come in to get TV time.
Yeah.
Try and build up their own because they don't come in with the actual realistic idea of selling. But one of the things I found out that I guess I should have known, but didn't ever dawn on me or I never thought about was a lot of those deals end up not happening.
Oh, really?
Because they'll make the deal based off the information they give, but then they do their due diligence, and then they find out, oh, you know what? The money that you raised was actually an investment, and there's actually like 15 other owners, or the space that you said you had that you owned is actually a lease, or you never got that patent that you said you were, that trademark.
That makes sense.
And so, absolutely, business-wise, they're not just going to go off of what they say in that show. They're going to go behind and get all the details and records.
Open the books up.
And once they realize this, they're like, yeah, you weren't totally honest, or you phrased it or positioned it some other way. And a lot of those deals end up not ever happening.
I do remember quite a few of them where they were always like patent pending, and then I could see where the deal would fall through because the patent didn't go through.
Yeah, because without the patent, they can just do it themselves and cut them out.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I guess that's it. I was trying to think something clever, but there ain't nothing there, so. Aliens.
Maybe.
Tune in next week. Anything else?
Nothing prepared.
No, I know, right?
Spent 20 minutes trying to find something, but I don't know if it's going to be a topic we'll delve into. East Coast Comic-Con bans Kevin Sorbo for supporting Trump. The gentleman who organizes the East Coast Comic-Con, I turned down Kevin Sorbo for the East Coast Comic-Con. He's pals with Sean Hannity. I just can't do it.
Who's Kevin Sorbo?
Hercules?
Oh, jeez. Well, you want to take us out?
Well, before we go, I thought it would be
Proper?
I'd say an announcement, but I guess it kind of is. So, before this episode ends, I am just going to let the listeners know.
All 20 of you.
All 20 of you. We are worldwide. Or I guess we just be international.
Yeah.
We're international.
Internationally known.
But I am going to have to take a small step back from the podcast due to scheduling and just some upcoming life events here for the foreseeable future. I will be stopping in when I can to contribute, but I'm going unintentionally. I'm going to have to step away. I didn't want to. I didn't plan to, but too much on the plate, and I'm going to have to take a little bit off as I focus on some life and career things.
Little sabbatical.
Little sabbatical. I'll still pop in here and there.
Just a periodic sabbatical.
When you least expect it.
Yeah. Life has a way, right?
I'm going to try and pace it out, so just as you forget about me, I'll just pop in and remind you.
Boom. Still here.
Hey, guys.
Well, you know the seat's always open.
I do, and I appreciate it.
Always be warm.
Well, maybe in the summertime.
Yeah. In the summertime, it'll be warm.
It's definitely sad. I don't want to. I'm very much enjoying this and watching it grow. I mean, geez, even at the small
From
listenership
12 to
we
18.
have. Well, you laugh, but even at the small listenership we have, that was much higher than we ever anticipated at this stage of the game.
Yep.
We highly anticipated talking to ourselves with no one listening for
A couple months at least.
at least. So, but just want to inform everyone of that. And so the next show will be, I don't know, maybe you'll get a guest. Maybe the first guest will be the first show I'm not here.
Oh, thanks.
The first guest after the first guest.
Yeah, the first guest was easily forgettable.
I understand. That velvety voice only goes so far.
We got the intro. We thought we were done with
I
you.
know.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, you're done with me.
Got to
Yeah.
read the fine print, ladies.
We're gonna stretch that velvety voice out just a little bit longer.
So the moral of the story is watch who you bring into the projects you're working with because they can end up taking over.
Boom.
Yeah.
So with that, Jason will now be taking the seat as the co-host officially.
Officially. Stepped up from staff. I enjoy that.
So all those that were reading on the website and it says this posted by CHC staff, you now know who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to pay your dues in the mailroom before you can be brought up to the big leagues.
All that pro bono work I did paid off.
Well, yeah, let's just, as long as we stay away from Reddit.
That's true.
So next week you can enjoy Jason's corner of reading Reddit stories.
Phonetically, of course.
But with that, we'll let everyone go. Say thank you for listening, and until next time.
Until next time, thanks, everybody.
Thank you all for taking the time to listen.